Okay, so before we get started, I want to explain this handout really fast. So it says how to create a Rizzi scape on the top, and it gives you the 7 steps on how to create our landscapes. So we're going to get to step 6 today. We're not going to get to step 7, which is color. We're going to do that next time. So this is just for you to follow each step in case you get confused or you need something to look back at. On the other side are different eyes, mouths, and noses for you to look at and use if you want to. You don't have to use them, of course, for step 4 when we start drawing our faces on our building. So I'm going to keep this next to me so I have this reference to look at. I'm going to be drawing in Sharpie right away just so it's easier for you to see on the video, but I want all of you to draw with pencil first, just in case you make a mistake, you can erase. And then when you're done with pencil, then you will trace with Sharpie, which is what we've been doing quite a bit, so you should be used to that. So I'm going to start with step number 1, and it says draw buildings in the foreground, which is the front. So I'm going to start on this side, and I'm just going to draw some horizontal and vertical lines to create my buildings. If you want to use a ruler for this part, you definitely can. So I'm going to draw some tall. Maybe I'll draw this one a little bit skinnier. Draw this one a little shorter. And I'll draw this one a little bit fatter. And I'll end with a tall one. Okay, so that is step number 1 done, drawing buildings in the front. Now we're going to go to step number 2, draw buildings in the background. So this is the foreground. Now we're going to go draw some more buildings in the very background. So I'm going to come over here again, and I'm just going to draw some buildings coming out from the background. And I might even draw some that are kind of overlapping the front. And I might draw a tall one here coming down. Make sure you leave some room in your background to draw some fun things at the very end. And might do one more small one here. Okay, so done with step number 2, drawing buildings in the background. Now I can move on to step number 3, draw tops of the buildings with different shapes. So it's kind of like giving your buildings hairdos. So I might do some triangles on this building. I might do one big triangle on this one. So when you're doing this, think about different shapes you could put on top of your buildings. You don't have to do them all if you don't want to. Might put kind of like an antenna on this one. And maybe a curved shape on that one. Couple curves on this one. So I'm going to keep going, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done with that step. So now that step 3 is done, I can move on to step 4, which is drawing your faces. So these faces on this example, they're kind of like cartoon faces. So this is where you can also use the back side and take different eyes and noses and mouths from here, or of course, come up with some on your own. So these faces should be fairly simple. You can use shapes, again, just like you did with the tops of the buildings. So maybe I'll do diamond eyes for this building. Give it some eyebrows. Okay, so there's one face. Some oval eyes. Eyelashes. On this one, maybe I'll do a cat face. So if you want to do animals too, that's fine. You could turn your buildings into cats or dogs or unicorns if you want to. Maybe over here I'll give this one kind of an angry face. Okay, so I'm going to keep going around to all of my buildings and adding faces on them. Make sure you fill up every building with a face. All right, so I'm done with step number 4, drawing my faces. Remember, you can use both sides of this handout. Think about different emotions while you're making your faces as well. If you want your face angry, sad, happy, a bunch of different emotions you can do. So now I'm going to move on to step 5. I'm going to draw windows and doors. And here are some different examples of doors and windows you can do. Of course, you don't have to copy them exactly. So I'm going to start with adding my doors. So I'll start with my doors down here on my buildings in the foreground or the front, because your background buildings, you won't really be able to see the doors for those. Add a few doors on this one. This door is going to have a window on it. And this one I might make kind of like a panel door. Okay, so now that I'm done with the doors, now I can go ahead and fill my buildings up with some windows as well. So you can choose how many windows you want on your buildings. You can draw them any way you would like. Think about different windows you see on houses or different buildings. Do some taller windows here. Might do some tall windows on this one too. All right, so I'm going to pause it. I'm going to keep adding a few more windows. Okay, so now I'm done with step number 5. I finished adding some more windows. So now I can move on to the last step we're going to do is step number 6, draw the sky. So in James Rizzi's art, he has a lot of clouds. Sometimes he does half sun, half moon. He has airplanes, birds, UFOs even. So you can really add anything you want in your sky. It doesn't have to be like James Rizzi's. But I think I want mine to be half sun and half nighttime. So with my pencil, I'm just going to lightly draw a line kind of in the middle. So I'm going to have this side sun, this side sun, this side nighttime. So I'm going to draw a sun over here in my background. Again, you can draw whatever you would like. I'm going to draw moon on this side and some stars. Might draw some clouds over here. And some different lines. Okay, so there I have my nice busy sky. So I finished steps 1 through 6. So now I'm going to stop here. You might not get done with all of yours today because you're going to be drawing with pencil first and then Sharpie. So that might take you quite a while. So then we were going to color these a different day.